Hey everybody, Frank Chen here with REIClub.com, the only site you'll need as a real estate investor. Today's quick video, we're going to be talking about how to determine fair market rent for your rental properties. Now, before you even consider investing in a rental property or changing a property you're trying to sell into a rental property, you really have to consider some major factors. And the first thing we're going to cover is the market. Where is a property of interest located? Okay, and you want to know if it's in a high income area part of town or a low income part of town, okay? And you want to identify the population growth or population need and community growth. And what that means, you want to identify, are there any major corporate businesses around your area or even moving into your town to be built? And what that means is it's going to create new jobs, new opportunities, new employees looking for housing, okay? The next thing you want to identify, guys, is the supply and demand. How many rental properties are in your area? If it's a high rental area, that means you're going to be a little bit more competitive in your pricing. You may not get what you want for your rental price, okay? Now, another thing you have to identify is the neighborhood vacancy period. You know, what's the average time a property is vacant? Is it 1, 2, or 3 months? Really what you want to do is, of course, the lower, the better, okay? Now, the next thing I want to talk about, guys, is a very common mistake, and I hear this all the time from newer investors or new landlords, is the cost to consider when you're determining your rent or setting your rent. Now, a lot of times we forget that you have mortgage payments you have to consider, property tax, homeowners insurance, okay? HOA fees, if any, property management if you're using them, and then house maintenance after your tenant moves out, of course, on a month-to-month basis if they need any basic maintenance. Me, myself, I look for properties that are not in HOA areas, and I manage my own properties, so I get to save on those costs, which increases my monthly cash flow. So you guys can kind of play around with that. The next thing I want to cover, guys, is the market rent research, okay? I created a bit of a checklist for you so you can compare apples to apples, oranges to oranges. So if we're going to find out, you know, the location of your property and proximity to amenities like schools, shopping areas, recreational places, okay? You also want to make sure that everything has the same square footage, number of bedrooms, bath. You also want to identify is the utilities included or not, okay? That can be a pretty important factor. Also, the availability of a garage or a covered parking area. That also can affect the rent price. Amenities included. Are washer and dryer included? Is there a yard? How big is it? Is there a storage space? Is there a deck? Is there a fireplace? These things do affect the price. Another one, are pets allowed? Here in Austin, I had a property for rent. I did not allow pets, and it actually hurt me quite a bit. We're an animal-friendly place. My realtor was like, hey, Frank, let's make it available. It will definitely help you out. So I said, okay. I bent it a little bit and said, let's go for it. Within a week, my property was rented out. So you want to, kind of adjust to the market, guys. Everybody's area is different. If you're adamant about not having pets, I understand. But for me, it might get my property rented out. Now, there are many places online that you can check out to kind of compare rental prices and kind of see, where you're at. Some good sites are Craigslist.com, really fantastic. Rentometer.com, Zilpy, hotpads.com, rent.com. Another really cool site and reference, guys, or resource is HUD.gov. They do a fair market analysis for their rental properties or Section 8 rental properties every year. I recently just went there this past week and noticed that my current one of my rental properties is about $100 less than the average in the area, which is nice. This is exactly why I priced it that way. Now, you can also refer to your local newspapers or really short ads that give you like a really simple rent number, kind of reference to that. Look for rent signs in your area, okay? Simply call their landlords, property managers, and find out what your competitors are asking for their properties. Always really strong to do. You can also ask your realtors who are familiar with that certain zip code or that neighborhood and kind of ask them, where they think it's going to be trending to, if the rent's going to go up or down. Always a helpful resource. And after you gather all this data, guys, simply just develop an average comparable rent, and it should be a really good starting reference point to you, okay? Now, a few tips for you is if you price your property too high, you're going to be sitting on a unit that's unoccupied, okay? If you price it too low, you're going to be missing out on some vital income, okay? So you really want to determine, do you want top dollar for your property or you want less vacancy? Okay, now if you're by any chance your property is not renting, just simply lower the rent compared to your competitors, okay? Like, make it sound and look a lot more appealing. Now, you also want to consider increasing your rent at the end of each lease period, but of course that depends on if your costs increase. Property tax increases, insurance, whatever it may be, adjust your rent accordingly, okay? Now, I referred to a video in my description below to another video of mine kind of explaining why rental properties are great in today's market, so you can go ahead and check that out. But guys, the purpose of rental properties is really to cash flow. In order to cash flow, it's important to correctly price your rentals. So, all the information I discussed today you can find online on the internet, and a lot of these resources are absolutely free to use. So, it will take a bit of time to kind of get used to the process and familiar with your market, but after a few deals, I guarantee you're going to become one of the masters of your real estate market. So it's definitely something to look forward to. Again, guys, this is Frank Chen with REIClub.com. Bring you another video. Do me a favor, leave comments below about what you thought about the video. Click the like button because it really does help us out. But more importantly, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can keep you informed when brand new videos are posted every week. As usual, guys, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to talking to you next week. Take care, good investing, and bye-bye.